Well, happy belated Easter, my loves. I hope you all had an absolutely beautiful holiday because of everyone's schedule in my life, because I've got, big kids who I have to work around their schedules now. Um, we're doing our family get together this coming weekend, and I get to see my cutie little grandson. So, whenever it is that you celebrate Easter, I hope it was a day where you're able to reflect on the importance of Easter. Not necessarily the religious sense, but what it represents symbolically, which is restoration, resurrection, and renewal. Isn't this such an important season in life? These are the times when we get to reconnect to those goals and the dreams that we have for our lives, right? Where we are back in the land of possibilities, where we can see the potential of restoration, of resurrection, and of renewal, and all the amazingness that's sitting there. It's a time of playfulness and creativity, right? Okay, so we've been talking about how to move forward with courage, and this is our fourth video in this series of Courage and Confidence series. And today's topic is something that I hear a lot of clients complain about when you want to move to the next level in some aspect of your life. And something seems to keep getting in the way. And then I ask them, could that something be you? So, my loves, I ask you, do you feel like you're striving, but you're not arriving? And if you're saying a yes, then this message is for you. We're so quick to blame our circumstances and others and, about everything, how they're getting in our way. And you don't have to look very hard to find a myriad of excuses why now is not the right time to go after your dreams or your goals. But my loves, it doesn't take hardly any skill to find excuses. Anyone can do that. They're everywhere. They are the low-hanging fruit that everyone has access to. That's like kindergarten level stuff. But you're getting ready to graduate. So we can't keep playing in that sandbox of excuses if you really want to get prepared for life after school, right? And we've talked in previous videos in this series about those superhumans and the skills that they employ to get them to the next level success, next level courage, next level confidence, next level fulfillment. And you know what? They're no different from you. The only difference is that they have discovered how to get out of their own way. And that is what this message is about today. So if you want to go back and watch the previous videos, which are set up for this one, I will post it in the video description below. You can just look up any of my other videos and you'll find this whole series and other videos that are linked to it. And these are recorded from my weekly Tuesday chats on Instagram. So first, let's calm some fears by saying it's impossible to expand, to go after your dreams and your goals without feeling a little bit off. So if that's how you feel, congrats, you are winning. And here's why. This is what's actually going on behind the scenes. Your old ego, which is, your old identity, it needs to be in the know. It wants to be in that familiar safe zone. So you're going to butt up against this resistance dragon. But before you start beating yourself up about feeling resistance again, or worse, running in the opposite direction, here's the good news, guys. Your ego thrives off familiarity and staying within its comfort zone, which means that the very existence of resistance popping up in your life right now is actually a green light saying to you, babe, you're in the process of outgrowing your comfort zone. Get going. You're growing, you're expanding, you are evolving. So in this way, we need to welcome resistance because it's an important messenger. It's telling you the ego is being forced to expand its comfort zone. So today, I invite you to thank resistance when it shows up rather than try and avoid it or push it away. It is confirming that you're on the right track. You are evolving, you're growing, and you are repatterning. We are always asking for signs, right? For confirmation that we're on the right track so we know if we can keep moving forward, right? Well, guys, we get signs all the time. The issue is that we haven't learned to notice and to listen to them so that we can access their valuable insights. And resistance is one of those signs of confirmation. Because it's impossible to grow and expand or evolve without feeling some sort of resistance. They kind of go hand in hand. Like, if you think of when a child is teething, right? Those teeth are pushing up through those delicate little gums and they're causing crazy pain. And this child is, really irritated. And that's because of the resistance of the tissues. Or when a mama has a baby, it doesn't feel good. Guys, I've had 4 and I can tell you there were parts of my bodies that were in full on resistance to that process. But as soon as we move into the allowing of the sensations to be present, the resistance actually begins to fade away. So I invite you to allow the message, allow that confirmation to seep in, knowing that you are on the right path, and allow that sensation, or even take it one step further. Thank it, befriend it. It's there for you. I know I've said this before, but I'm going to keep repeating it because it's super important to remember. Everything happens for you, not to you. This includes resistance. And when you begin to realize how much guidance we're blessed with all day, every day, you'll begin to see how easy life can be. And it's only us who makes things hard for ourselves. We are the ones who get in our own way or get hung up on stuff. And this is a huge piece that sets those superhumans and the average person who gets bogged down with struggle apart. These superachievers, they realize there's going to be resistance and they appreciate the message it brings with it. And they see it as a pat on the back to keep moving forward. Can you feel the difference? They allow it to be there. They're even welcoming it because they're able to see the value in it. Now, this is a huge mental turning point, guys. As soon as we allow ourselves to see the value in something, we begin to desire it, right? That's human nature. It's hilarious, but it works. Just a quick reframe, and all of a sudden, resistance is now something to be desired, not something dreaded or overpowering you. Now, you might want to come back to this video and rewatch it when you feel like that resistance dragon's popping up again, because it will. But remember, it's not a foe, it's a friend, and it's here for you. Your ego or your old identity is the one who's creating that resistance. It's like a child who doesn't want to get up for school in the morning. Like I said, I got 4 kids. Some of them move a little bit faster than others when it's time for school. Sometimes, they even kick up a little resistance because resistance is like saying, I don't want to. So you have part of you when you're in resistance who's saying, I don't want to. And then you have this other part of you that's saying that you want to experience all your dreams and all the goodness that's waiting for you. This doesn't work, guys. You're sending mixed messages to the universe about your dreams. All right, so where's the disconnect? Why can't we just thank resistance for its message, which says we're on the right path and we're evolving, and just keep moving forward? Why do we want to keep living in this small safe zone? Why are we so adverse to resistance? Well, here's the key. It's because of regret. Regret is another sensation that causes us to back right off of our dreams, isn't it? The feeling of regret, it pops up and it reminds you of how things worked out last time, which then opens up the dreaded failure file. And all of a sudden, all your goals and your dreams are perceived by a brain as a threat because we don't want to experience failure again. We're adverse to it. Do you see how quickly this loop gets activated and how easily you get sucked into it? Now I ask you, how many of you will be honest enough to say that you struggle with that? Well, let me tell you this, you're not alone. This is what will keep you locked in the average life of struggle and frustration, though. Feeling like you're spinning your wheels, striving but not arriving. And this is a cyclical pattern. First, you start out with this new desire, knowing what you really want to experience, this new dream and goals, and you get all jazzed up and excited about it. And then you move into stage 2, which is where you're going to feel resistance. But now that you have reframed resistance, you can handle that, right? Knowing it's just a messenger, it's not something to be afraid of. But here's the catch. If you don't befriend and begin to value resistance, guess who's also coming through the door riding on the coattails of resistance? It's regret. My loves, it is important to remember that our brain doesn't catalog life events in chronological order, saying this event led to this and then this occurred. No, actually, what it does is it files according to felt emotions. So you actually have a regret file in your brain. And when you fight against resistance, it gets louder to prove its case, and it's going to present you with this regret file. And do you know what that file is filled with? All of your perceived failures. Regret is wishing that you had made a different decision in the past because the consequences of the decision that you did make were unfavorable, related to a perceived opportunity. Did you catch that? The perceived opportunity on the end of that definition. Perceived, which means it's subjective and it's made up by you and your perceptions. So now we have failure, which is perceived, aka made up by you. And then we've got regret, also made up by you. And we have perceived opportunities made up by you. Do you see this, love? Do you see the trend? You are a magical being. You are magnificent at creating the life that you are living. Isn't that great news? This means you have the power to create the life that you deserve and the life that you're here to live. But we have to learn how to get out of our own ways if we want to experience all that goodness. You see, the universe is trying to free you. It's trying to take you to that magic, a miracle storehouse, but your old identity is resisting it. It doesn't like change, which means 1000% of the time, there's always a higher way being birthed. There's always a higher way trying to unfold for you and through you, but you won't be able to find it with the old way of doing things. So we have to relook at some things that we've been conditioned to believe. And one of those things is regret. Regret is a lie, guys. It's a belief in a fabrication that you have. If you had chosen differently, you would have experienced a different outcome. Did you get that? I'm going to say it one more time. So regret is a belief in a fabrication that had you chosen differently, you would have experienced a different outcome. Nope, not necessarily. Nothing is certain in life. Even something as simple as having a bath, which we believe is totally safe, it sometimes isn't. People die in baths every week. Or take, for example, a couple weeks ago, guys, I drove out west of town to run in the hills, like I've done, hundreds of times because I'm an ultra marathon runner. And before, without even a second thought, right? So I go out there and I'm running for about an hour and a half in the hills. I come back and I'm in my happy place. I've been listening to tunes and the weather's gorgeous. I mean, I am high vibing. And I come back and I walk up to my van and my window is smashed in and everything was taken. My purse, my gloves, glasses, radar detector, my big set of keys, which is my house, mailbox, blah, 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 everything. Before that run, I was pretty certain that the contents inside were safe. I was feeling pretty confident that it was safe to park there and to run in that location because nobody's around. And the average person would really start to second guess themselves and their decision to run out there in such a secluded area or regret leaving anything in the van. But I didn't go there, guys. This is how I handled it. First, I asked, 1, did I attract this from a hidden belief? And the answer was no. Okay, well, then number 2, and this is how I coach my clients, right? These are the questions that I have formulated from patterns. That number 2 is something bigger trying to birth in me right now. And it was a hard yes. There was something bigger in the works. The universe, when I got clear, this is the message, was that it really wanted me to start noticing how fully supported I am and that I'm not alone in any area of my life. And I'm always, without even being aware, I'm surrounded by people who are willing to help if I will let them. And honestly, that's all I've experienced from the friendliness of our local RCMP who gave me his coat because I'm freezing after this run standing out there while he's, in my van looking for prints, gathering blood specimen and stuff. And then there's the body shop who they couldn't look after it, but they had it towed. And then the insurance who has been amazing and the car rental, literally every aspect has just been so seamless. It's been a beautiful experience. Not necessarily desirable because there's been some aspects that have been kind of annoying and a bit of a pain in the butt, but it's been beautiful and I have gotten the message I needed to get. We honestly don't know anything about the other way or the other choice that we could have made. Just because somebody else's experience turned out a certain way doesn't mean that yours will as well. There's way too many factors at play for that to be exact. Listen, my loves, you are where you're meant to be. Can you allow that possibility in? Where you are is exactly where you're meant to be. To be somewhere else, you would have to be someone else. Do you get that? And you aren't. You are here and you are you. So Jim Carrey said, if you aren't in the moment, you are either looking forward to uncertainty or backwards to pain and regret. Your power zone only exists in the now moment. Other than that, you're looking back to pain and regret. And when that file of failures gets open, it's going to bog you down. And it causes you to see your dreams and your goals as threats rather than as desires. And that's why it's easy to let go of them. Because the last time that you thought about stepping out of your comfort zone, you started to experience resistance and then you backed off. That's all failure is. A history of you miscommunicating with resistance. Isn't that nuts? So I'm just going to repeat that again. Maybe you want to take notes. That's all failure is. It's a history of you miscommunicating with resistance, of backing off instead of moving forward, instead of feeling the fear, instead of feeling the pat on the back, right? That's what resistance actually is. It's a green light. But without this awareness, you start seeing your dreams and your goals as the threats, because the regret file's open and you're marrying potential regret with the opportunity. Isn't that wild? But you are the creator of your life, and that means you can choose differently. You can access a different file. You can access the file of joy or playfulness or creativity. These are attributes which will restore, resurrect, and renew any dream that you have burning inside of you. These virtues of joy, playfulness, and creativity will give you the confidence and the courage to move forward. Always. We watch children learn and grow at rapid paces in their first few years of life. And I'm watching my grandson go through all these cutie little cycles, right? And why? Why are they so motivated to do this? Because they have courage, they have confidence, and it comes from their playful and creative approach to possibilities. They will find all kinds of crazy and innovative ways to climb up to something. If they want a cookie on the counter, they're going to figure out what they need to stack to get to that cookie. If they want to ride a bike, they're going to practice until they get it because they don't have a failure file yet. And so they don't see their dreams and goals as threats that can reactivate that failure file. It won't be thrown at them. So today I invite you to activate your childlike playfulness and your creativity whenever you begin to feel bogged down with your perceived past failures and regrets. Remember, perceived, guys. That means it's made up by you and your perceptions. Remember also that you can bypass this file completely by listening to the messages resistance brings, which are saying, yes, you're on the right path. You're evolving. You are expanding. You are outgrowing your safe zone. Good job. Keep it up, right? That's what resistance is trying to tell you. So high fives to you, my loves. You've got this, and I believe in you. Feel free to rewatch this video whenever you feel like you're tripping on resistance again so that you can bypass that regret and failure file. And if you need any help working through this, I invite you to book a call with me. Book an introductory call and see if you are a good fit for my course, which is called You've Got Miracles, where I will teach you how you can finally unlearn struggle and self-doubt and discover your inner genius, and then reactivate your intuitive guidance channel so you know the right decisions to make. And if you know someone who would benefit from this video, please share it. And if you found it beneficial, so will they. All right, so now it's your turn. I've done all the talking and I want to hear from you. What are you resisting? Where in your life have you been sending out those mixed messages of I want to and I don't want to? And where have you let the regret file hold you hostage from connecting to your dreams? Alrighty, guys, get typing. I love reading your comments, and I always respond. Much loves, and remember, you are the magnificent creator of your life. Mwah.